Hello, welcome to session 2, and I've got the pallet out ready to dismantle it. You'll notice it's held together with a series of pins or nails that I suspect are probably toothed, a bit like screw nails, so they won't come out that easily. And the idea is that I take as much care as I can to get these boards off. Right, so I've got a very old screwdriver, which isn't the ideal tool, if I'm honest. You should really use a wrecker bar or something like that. I'm going to have a go at this though, just to see if it's possible to do what you're going to probably end up doing at home. If you notice, I'm putting the screwdriver in line with the two nails. And the idea is I'm using that as a wedge to try and lever that up. And it's coming, which is good. And the good thing is that those nails gone straight through that piece of wood. So it's not going to be too difficult. I've never done one of these before. So once you get it going, it does give way. I'll show you the nails that they use afterwards. I can use the claw bit of the claw hammer if I can get it in. But you see, if I do that, I've got the danger that I'm going to split that piece of wood because I'm putting all the pressure on this bit here. So I'll go back and use my screwdriver instead. Well, this could be very tedious for you. And what I'll do, I'll continue to do that, but I'll do it, speed it up so that you don't have to wait there for 3.5 hours. Well, the lesson I learned from that was if you try and use a screwdriver, you've got a lot of work ahead of you. And what I ended up using was the right tool for the job, which is a wrecker bar. And I reckon investing, I don't know, £4.50, something like that, in a wrecker bar would probably save you probably a few years of your life. So I've got it to bits, I've got the wood. Some of it is quite damaged. We'll have a look at that in a minute and we'll take the nails out of it. Be careful with those nails. Don't tread on pointy ends or whatever you do. Maybe a good idea to wear gloves and something with a reasonable thickness of sole on it as well, just in case you step on a nail. Okay, see you in a minute. So this is what I've got out of the pallet. It's only a small one, probably a half pallet if there is such a thing. And what I'm going to do next is to knock the nails out from the pieces that still have nails in. And I'm going to start to glue together any splits that I've got in preparation for planing. So I've set my Workmate up so that I've adjusted the two jaws so there's enough room to hold each of these planks. And there's a gap through which I can knock those nails back. So I'll knock them all the way through the plank, and then I'll use the claw end of the hammer to pull them out. If you hit them square on, they shouldn't buckle over. And you should be able to release it, hold it back in the jaws, and let's hope easily get those out. Good, so I'll go through and get these nasty looking nails out from the rest of the pieces. Even if the wood's really damaged like this piece is, I've saved the bits that have broken off, and it should be possible with a bit of PVA to actually repair that to a point where we can use it. This is really badly damaged, I don't know what else to see, but we'll give it a go. So it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. You want to try and push everything back where it belongs. And if we're a bit smart, we can probably work out the best way to get that all compressed in one go. And we'll leave that for a bit, come back to it and see what we've achieved. So here we are back again, and this is the piece of wood that I left in the Workmate for about probably an hour, something like that. Plenty of time for the PVA to have gone off. PVA gets 90% of its stick if it's under pressure with a clamp or something in about 20 minutes. So I gave it, because there was a lot of gap and there's a lot of PVA in there, I gave it an hour, and that seems to have done the trick. I also, after that, set about gluing the cracks that were in this piece of wood as well by opening them up, putting glue in, blowing glue like I did last time into the crack, and then closing it up in the Workmate. And I thought before I get on and show you that closing up of cracks in detail, we'd give it a go with a plane, just to show you that we're not wasting our time with this. We should be able to produce some reasonably decent looking timber from these rough sawn bits of split stuff. There's the surface I managed to get on that piece of wood, and very different to what it was on the other side. Not perfect, but there's usable timber from here to here, probably up to about here. There's usable timber from here to here, and what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make a bench hook with it, and you can follow me if that's what you want to make, and that'll be perfectly good for what I'm wanting to use it for. You'll be surprised when you chop out the nasty bits how decent that looks. I said I'd show you how to deal with splits, and this is probably typical of the sort of thing that you've ended up with. And what we have to do with this is to close this split up and to reposition this piece of broken material. The rest of that plank is pretty good. We've got a split here that we've got to close up as well. And one thing I've noticed, and for goodness sake, look out for this yourself, I've got 2 bits of steel nail left in there, and if I hadn't turned it over and seen those heads, I might well have taken the plane over the top of that. So I'm going to get rid of those first of all before I forget. Open up whatever split you've got with this old screwdriver. Just open it up sufficient to get some glue in. Like we did before, maybe peel this bit right back so we can get some glue in there, but we'll deal with the crack first of all. Pop some PVA into the crack. And as we did before, take it all the way to the end. Blow it in. I'm always a bit conscious that I have glue over my mouth by the time I finish this. I'll have to check. Glue into the crack first of all, and then worry about the broken bit afterwards. Actually we won't take a screwdriver out, we'll pop that in before we do that, just in case that broken bit has got a curious wedge at the bottom that won't fit in unless that's separated. Plenty of glue right at the end. Do what we did and slide that back in, so pop it in like that and then slide it forwards so that all those fibres at the end here catch. Take your screwdriver out, and already you should be able to see evidence that the glue's squidging out a bit. Maybe a bit of evidence of that. Line up everything at the end there so that it's nice and flat. And then you can pop it into the Workmate And I'd leave it for half an hour. If you got longer, then that'd be even better. That's already squidged out. And this bit needs some downward pressure. You can see if I squidge it, the glue comes out. I want to just put my thumb on that for a bit. I reckon if I keep my thumb on there for 3 minutes, the glue will have sufficient tackiness in it to hold that in place. All I got to do is the same the other end, and I'll have a decent plank of material. That's the end of session 2, and in session 3 I'll show you how to sharpen a plane so that you can finish off the surfaces of all the material that you salvaged, and we'll sharpen it to a point where you can shade with it. It's really got to be that good, and it's not too difficult. So see you in session 3.